The rejection email arrived while I was still in the parking lot. My interview suit still crisp, my portfolio still unopened. 30 minutes, that's how long it took for Morrison Industries to decide I wasn't worth their time. Thank you for your interest, but we decided to pursue other candidates. I sat in my car staring at the glass building where my mother had worked for 23 years, where she climbed from secretary to chief operating officer, where she'd apparently just torpedoed my career before it could begin. The security footage would later confirm what I suspected that day. My mother, Patricia Morrison, no relation to the Morrison family, despite what her name tag suggested, had intercepted me in the lobby. I thought it was coincidence, her emerging from the executive elevator just as I checked in for my interview. "Savannah," her surprise seemed genuine. "What are you doing here?" "I have an interview, senior marketing strategist position." Her face had done something complicated then. A flash of panic quickly masked by her corporate smile. "Oh honey, that's ambitious. You know Morrison Industries only hires from top programs. I graduated summa cum laude from Wharton, Mom." Still, she glanced at her watch. "I have a meeting." "Good luck." But she hadn't gone to any meeting. She'd gone straight to CEO David Morrison's office. I know because 6 months later, I would watch the security footage of her marching past his assistant, closing his door, and spending 10 minutes gesticulating wildly. The audio was grainy, but certain phrases were clear. "Not ready for this level." Emotional instability in the family. "This company doesn't hire failures." "Trust me, don't want that kind of drama." David Morrison, a man who trusted his COO implicitly, had killed my interview before I'd even sat down. That night, she called to console me. "I heard you didn't get the position. I'm so sorry, sweetie, but honestly, Morrison Industries isn't the right fit for you. Too cutthroat. You're more of a creative type. Have you thought about nonprofits?" I'd hung up on her. It was the first time I'd ever done that, and it felt like crossing a line I couldn't uncross. The pattern wasn't new, just more blatant. Throughout my childhood, my mother had systematically undermined every achievement while maintaining plausible deniability. Science fair projects mysteriously damaged the night before. College recommendation letters that somehow never got sent. Internship applications that vanished from her home office. "I'm just trying to protect you from disappointment," she'd always said. "The world is harsh, Savannah. Better to aim lower and be pleasantly surprised." But this was different. This was my career, my future, and she killed it with surgical precision in the one place where her word was gospel. I spent the next week researching Morrison Industries obsessively. Revenue streams, profit margins, stakeholder reports, everything publicly available. The company was solid but stagnant, coasting on contracts secured decades ago. Their marketing was archaic, their digital presence laughable. Stock price steady but uninspiring. That's when I noticed something interesting in their SEC filings. The Morrison Family Trust, which controlled 51% of shares, was bound by specific succession rules. If no direct Morrison heir was actively involved in company operations by the trust's 50th anniversary, controlling shares would be sold on the open market. The anniversary was in 2 years. David Morrison was 67, divorced, childless. His nephew had zero interest in the business. The family was looking for an exit strategy. I called my father that night. He and my mother had divorced when I was 12, but he'd done well in tech. More importantly, he'd never forgiven her for the custody battle where she claimed he was too unstable to parent. "How much money could you raise if you needed to?" I asked. "For what?" "To buy out controlling interest in Morrison Industries." Silence. "Then, you want to buy your mother's company?" "I want to buy the company that rejected me because my mother told them I was a failure." He laughed. Dark, appreciative. "I know some people, private equity folks who'd love a piece of Morrison." "How much do we need?" "At current valuation, roughly $200 million for controlling interest. Give me 6 months." It took 7, but he delivered. A consortium of investors who saw what I saw. A legacy company ripe for modernization, held back by entrenched leadership, primed for hostile takeover. We formed Apex Holdings LLC, carefully structured to hide my involvement. I was listed as a junior consultant, buried in paperwork. The negotiations were brutal but straightforward. The Morrison family wanted out, wanted their money, wanted to wash their hands of a company that bore their name but had long ceased to be their passion. David Morrison, nearing 70, was tired. We closed the deal on a Thursday. I was 25 years old and owned 51% of the company, where my mother had worked for over 2 decades. "When do you want to announce?" my lead investor asked. "Monday morning. All hands meeting. Don't tell anyone who the new owner is." That weekend, I had my hair professionally styled, bought a suit that cost more than my car, and practiced my speech in the mirror until every word was precise. I wasn't just returning as an owner. I was returning as everything my mother said I'd never be. Monday arrived gray and drizzling, pathetic fallacy at its finest. Morrison Industries' main conference room could hold 300 people. It was standing room only. The entire company gathered to meet their new ownership. David Morrison took the podium first, looking relieved. "As many of you have heard, Morrison Industries has been acquired by Apex Holdings. This transition ensures our company's future while honoring our past. I'm pleased to introduce the new majority owner and CEO." I waited in the wings, watching through the crack in the door. My mother sat in the front row, power-dressed and perfectly composed, probably already calculating how to manage this change. She'd survived 3 CEOs. She'd survived this one too. Savannah Cross. The sound that escaped my mother's throat was audible even from where I stood. I walked onto that stage like I was walking on water, past hundreds of faces I didn't recognize and one I knew better than my own. "Good morning. I'm thrilled to be here at Morrison Industries, a company I've admired for years. Some of you might remember me. I interviewed here 7 months ago for a marketing position." My mother had gone pale, her hands gripping her leather portfolio. "I didn't get that job. But it taught me something valuable. Sometimes the front door isn't the only way into a building. Sometimes you have to buy the whole building." Nervous laughter rippled through the crowd. I let it die. "I'm 25 years old. I know some of you are thinking I'm too young, too inexperienced, that I'm some trust fund baby playing CEO. You're wrong. I'm here because I see what Morrison Industries could be, not just what it has been. We're going to modernize. We're going to grow. We're going to become the company our competitors fear." I looked directly at my mother. "And we're going to do it by promoting talent, not politics. By rewarding merit, not tenure. By building people up, not tearing them down." The presentation continued for 30 minutes. New initiatives, restructuring plans, digital transformation. I'd spent months preparing, consulting with experts, building a vision that was ambitious but achievable. When I finished, the applause was genuine, except from the front row. "I'll be conducting one-on-one meetings with all department heads this week," I concluded. "My door is always open. Thank you." The crowd dispersed slowly, buzzing with energy and anxiety. My mother remained seated, frozen, until only she and I remained in that vast room. "How?" she finally asked. "Apex Holdings. Dad helped arrange the financing. Your father." She spit it like profanity. "Of course. This is about revenge." "No." I walked down from the stage, stopping just out of reach. "This is about capability. You told David Morrison this company doesn't hire failures. You were right. That's why I'm implementing a full performance review of all senior leadership. You can't. I own 51% of shares. I can do whatever I want." I smiled. Her own favorite phrase returned to sender. "I'm just trying to protect the company from disappointment. The business world is harsh, Mom. Better to aim higher and see who can reach." Her review was scheduled for Friday. I spent the week meeting with other executives, reviewing departments, being scrupulously fair and professional. My mother's colleagues praised her experience, her institutional knowledge, her connections. All true. But I also had the security footage, the emails where she'd badmouthed potential hires who threatened her position, the paper trail of product guests she'd sabotaged, the pattern of systematic undermining that I thought was unique to me but was apparently her management style. "Patricia," I said when she finally sat across from my new desk, David Morrison's old desk, "let's discuss your future with Morrison Industries." She sat ramrod straight, every inch the corporate warrior. "I've given this company 23 years. Yes, and in those years, you've also prevented the hiring of 47 qualified candidates you saw as threats. You've sabotaged 6 internal promotions. You've created what HR delicately calls a hostile environment for emerging talent. Those are baseless accusations. I slid a folder across the desk. Emails, reports, security footage, including her greatest hits. This company doesn't hire failures. She opened it, flipped through, her face cycling through emotions like a slot machine. Finally, what do you want? I want you to understand something. I leaned back in my chair now. Every time you told me to aim lower, I aimed higher. Every door you closed, I found a window. Every time you called me a failure, I worked harder. So in a way, I should thank you. You created me. This version of me. The one who could buy your whole world. Are you firing me? No, I'm demoting you. Junior operations analyst. Entry level. The same position you started in 23 years ago. You can work your way back up, on merit, not politics. Prove you deserve it. I want. Or you can resign. Full severance. Clean exit. Your choice. She stared at me like I was a stranger. Maybe I was. The daughter she'd raised would have aimed lower, accepted less, believed the limitations placed on her. That girl had died in a parking lot 7 months ago. I'll resign, she said quietly. Effective immediately. Security will escort you out. She stood, walked to the door, then turned. Was it worth it? Spending millions just to humiliate me? I didn't spend millions to humiliate you. I spent millions to build something. Humiliating you is just a bonus. Like getting hired on merit, something you made sure I'd never experience here. I was trying to protect you. From what? Success. Achievement? Self-worth? I shook my head. The only thing you protected me from was you. And now I don't need protection anymore. She left without another word. I watched from my window as security walked her to her car, cardboard box in hand, 23 years reduced to whatever fit in a banker's box. My phone buzzed. A text from Dad. Proud of you. Your mother called. She's upset. She'll survive. I typed back. She always told me to be realistic about my limitations. Turns out my only limitation was her. Morrison Industries thrived under new leadership. We modernized, expanded, doubled our stock price in 18 months. I hired the 47 candidates my mother had blocked, promoted the 6 she'd sabotaged. The company she tried to keep exclusive became inclusive. The failure she tried to prevent became the success story featured in Forbes. The last time I saw her was at a charity gala 2 years later. Morrison Industries was the primary sponsor. I was presenting a check for youth entrepreneurship programs, kids who'd been told to aim lower, dream smaller, expect less. She approached during cocktail hour, looking older but elegant. The company looks good, she said carefully. It is good. Finally. I heard you're funding scholarships for disadvantaged youth, for ambitious youth, kids whose parents tell them they're failures, kids who need someone to believe in them instead of protecting them from their own potential. She flinched. I've been seeing a therapist. She says I projected my own fears onto you, that I was so afraid of failing as a mother that I ensured you'd fail as a daughter. Did I fail? She looked around the ballroom, my company's name on every banner, my success on every tongue. No, you became everything I was afraid you'd become, better than me. I was always going to be better than you, I said gently. You just couldn't see it. Or maybe you could, and that was the problem. She nodded, tears threatening her mascara. For what it's worth, I'm proud of you. No, you're not. You're impressed. There's a difference. Proud would mean you supported my success. Impressed means you're surprised by it. I walked away, leaving her with her champagne and regrets. There would be no reconciliation, no healing, no hallmark moment. Some bridges, once burned from both ends, don't get rebuilt. They just leave a gap where something should be, a negative space that defines the landscape. Morrison Industries is mine now. Built on ambition my mother tried to kill. Funded by connections she tried to sever. Successful beyond dreams she tried to limit. The ultimate revenge. Not destroying what she built, but building it better without her. The company motto, etched in steel in our new lobby, reads, Merit, not politics. Potential, not pedigree. Every employee who walks through those doors knows they'll be judged on what they can do, not who they know or who they threaten. It's the company my mother claimed to work for but never created. And every morning when I sit at my desk, the desk she thought I'd never earn, I remember her words. This company doesn't hire failures. She was right. That's why I had to buy it. That's why she had to go. And that's why Morrison Industries, under my leadership, only fails at one thing, becoming what it used to be. A place where mothers sabotage daughters, where potential is a threat, where aiming lower is disguised as love. My mother taught me everything about corporate politics. The final lesson: sometimes the best way to win the game is to buy the whole board and change the rules. She had no idea what I would do next. Honestly, neither did I. But it was